exciting part of the presentation. I know we kept it for last so that you all will wait and stay. And I think it worked. Looks like we got everybody still here. So I'm gonna call up our officiating crew, our umpire, and there they are, Gus and William, come on up. Ooh, here's the bad. All right, boys, take it away.
All right, welcome to the World Series of Controllers, also known as Controller Showdown number 3. This is our third one in this series. In this series, we have 6 at-bats that are going to come up and present their best controller. Our first base umpire is going to be Mr. William Cooper. He is our area market leader of Hoffman Supply South. Umpire behind the plate will be myself, Gus Boyer, regional sales leader for the South for Hoffman Supply. All right, you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go through the rules so we know what the rules are. I got my umpire notebook here. Hope you can read. Take this off so you can hear me better. Each player, or at bat, has 8 minutes to do their presentation. And they're going to do a presentation on their best controller. Each player will focus on one of the most popular controllers in their control line. And there's no bribing the audience, because at the end of this, all the audience will have an opportunity to scan a QR code, and then you guys, as the audience, gets to vote for who is the best at bat. Are we ready? Let's play ball.
Let's do it.
So I don't have my clicker. At bat, are we calling them up first?
Go on up. Call them up.
Call them up.
Oh, come on up. Everybody come on up and take your seats. Batter up. Let's go. Oh, there's the...
Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up.
This is a random draw, so they don't know what sequence they're going in, by the way. So how we're going to start this is we're going to call our first batter up. They're going to come up on stage. They're going to introduce themselves, a short brief description about themselves, and then after that, I'm going to call play ball. And then they're going to have their 8 minutes. William has a clock. We're going to count down the clock here, 8 minutes, to do their presentation. We ready for the first one?
Yep.
Oh, one. First one is going to be Easy I.O.
All right.
I knew I'd go first.
This is your clicker.
Here's the clicker.
You can give it back to me when you're done.
What's forward? Okay, forward is the forward one and back.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And again, introduce yourself, and then when you're done, I will call play ball, and you can start.
Okay.
I gotta get ready though, just in case it gets wild in here.
It's gonna get wild. Be careful. Hello everyone. I'm Doug Coons, application engineer with Johnson Controls. I was a field tech starting in 2014 and worked my way up with another company using JCI product, came to JCI. So hoping to use my field experience to understand what you guys are dealing with and help work through the problems and play liaison between engineering and technician, because sometimes that's a different language. So I'm from Vermont, got a wife and 3 girls at home, wildly outnumbered, 2 cats, they're girls, I don't stand a chance. So that's kind of me. I don't know sports, but I'll talk cars with you all day if you want. Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. First base umpire William, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? On my let's play ball. Ready?
Ready.
Play ball.
All right. Easy I.O. F-Series. What's easy about it? Well, you've probably seen it before. It's been around for a little bit. There's no licensing. You're probably familiar with that. We'll probably say that about 7 times, 8 times during this 8-minute period, but that's going to be the big piece of the puzzle, I think. So let's talk about what it can do. Let's talk about our Easy I.O. F-Series controllers. We've got a couple of them. Maybe I'm cheating because I've got the F-Series. But they do the same thing, so I think it's worth just talking about the product line. For one, highly resilient, and it's IT capable. What does that mean? Well, we've got 802 1X capability, TLS, 1.3 SSL. It's going to meet all your security standards that you need to go on the IT network, so that's exciting. RESTful API, we can bring in pretty much anything you need to communicate with. From the resilient IT part, native STP. The whole industry is talking about going back into IP, right? But there's this daisy chain. Do I go daisy chain? Do I go star topology? Do I go ring network? Obviously for redundancy, we want ring would be the best, but now you're talking about I've got to bring in a managed switch. I have to have a little bit of IT knowledge, right? We can't ask all of our technicians to be IT gurus. Well, what if we could do it natively? Well, EasyIO can do that. The FW series, you can do native STP, ring protocol, without a managed switch. So now you've saved $2,000 on a managed switch. It's a way more cost competitive way to get that redundancy while moving towards the future of the backnet IP. So we've got open protocol support, backnet IP, backnet MSTP, client networks, servers, you can serve up to other supervisors, Modbus TCP, Modbus RTU, pretty much any protocol that you need, we've got it in EasyIO. MQTT, like I said, RESTful API. So let's talk about maximum, the flexibility and scalability, right? There's no supervisor required. We'll touch on the FS series and what that's capable of without having to bring in a supervisor. Endless network configurations. You can do wireless, you can do wired, you can do RTU, you can do RS-485. It's easy to integrate with third-party devices. That's pretty standard. You know, we've got to integrate pretty much everything nowadays, right? We're all seeing that. It's going from I/O to integrations to factory controls now. EasyIO can take care of that. And again, no licensing, no recurring fees. I talked about all these different protocols we can use. You don't have to license each protocol. You just enable it in the controller. It's native. No need to license various features. There's no licensing for version updates. You don't need to license the tool. You don't even need to install the tool. You just download it. It's an executable. You run it. You connect to a controller. 2 minutes later, you're programming. So the FS series, that's the most powerful in the F series that we have. This is our, what I would consider our supervisory controller. It's got HTML graphics. You can bring in up to 90 devices, 3,000 points, as you can see on the screen. Up to 100,000 records. You can host all your trends locally with SQLite in it. It's versatile. Again, like I mentioned, backnet IP, MSTP, Modbus TCP RPU, KNX IP, MQTT. It's secure. You can put it on all your customers' networks. It's an easy sell to the IT department. Sometimes that's the hardest piece, right? Can I put my equipment on your network? It's not a problem with EasyIO. And again, this is third time, fourth time, there's no license, there's no hidden costs, there's no recurring fees. You buy the controller, you download the tool, you program it, that's it. Oh, I gotta install SQL, I've gotta get my license. Nope, you don't need that. Some of the tools that we've all encountered, you have to have an IT background just to get the tool running, to get it licensed. Not an issue with EasyIO. The FW portion, that's our wireless. So the FS was supervisory, FW was wireless. Like I said, there's all these different configurations you can do. Pretty much if you can dream it, you can do it from your network architecture side. So the FW, you've got the wireless where you can either be a repeater, repeat off an existing network. You can host your own wireless access point. You can bring in third-party devices wirelessly. You can use it in client. You can just have it DHCP and just throw on any existing wireless network. Backnet, Modbus, KNX, MQTT. You got 2 Ethernet ports, so it supports the daisy chaining. But like I talked about, you've got the STP redundancy as well. Count down, count up, count down. Okay, so I'll move it along. Again, no STP, no managed switch. I think that's the biggest piece of the puzzle. You get the redundancy. You don't need to be an IT guru. You don't need to pay for a managed switch. It also has the benefit of JCI bought it back in, what, 2019? And we did put some of our features on there. Automatic tuning of our PID loops. That's huge. For me, I've been using JCI for years, and the biggest feature was crack. I was lucky. I came into it in like 2014. We had sorted out crack. From what I understand, it was a little difficult when it came out. but it works flawlessly, and now we have it in the Easy I/O line. Just kind of an example of the different IP integrations that we can do. Like I said, you can do daisy chain, you can do redundant rings, and kind of a nice feature, there's a PoE adapter. Maybe I've got to get up to a roof, I need to power this FW controller, and I can just pull one Cat5 or it's existing. You can get a PoE adapter and power up to 2 FW controllers off that adapter. That's huge. That's easy. Single cable for installation at that point. So, yet again, multiple topologies. You can do wired, you can do wireless, you can do it on the same network. You can host third-party devices, wired, wireless, different protocols. Access point, repeater, client. I think I pretty much touched on that. So while the FS series, the blue one that we mentioned, that's a supervisory device, if you will. It has your HTML5 graphics. You could also pull that in any other Easy I/O controller into any supervisory device, right? It's just a backnet device, backnet IP, but still with all your security features that you're looking for. It's endless possibilities. If you can dream it, you can do it. It's also easy to break stuff if you don't know what you're doing, so I'll be honest, you have to have a little bit of knowledge. But you can program anything in these, and you don't have to buy a license. Did I mention that? I might have mentioned that. CPT tools. Here's your kit management. What do we got left? A minute 12. All right. So here's the software. It's a familiar programming platform. It's function block programming. You download CPT, the tool. You can do it. You just run the executable. You log in, and if you're familiar with a majority of the programming platforms that are out there right now, Easy I/O will be an easy lift. There's the workspace. There's a couple examples of the workspace. Kit management, there's the different abilities to enable existing protocols within the controller. You can do graphics. There are HTML5 graphics, history chart with a SQL database. Again, up to 100,000 trends in the FS series. Let's see, you can back up and restore via the web, so you don't even have to have the tool. If you have a backup of the controller, you could send it to a tech. They can just log in to the controller on the web browser and push out the program that you've built for it. Trying to rush through a little bit because I'm running out of time here. Graphics, fully configurable, fully programmable. You can design your own graphics. You can do dashboards on the FW series. And I think this is my last slide, so I might have just made it kind of the lineup. I stuck that in there, I'm not gonna lie. We've got everything from 32 to 4IO.
Yay!
All right. Thank you guys.
Great job.
Thank you. Man, 8 minutes goes by quick.
It sure does. Well, William, that was a great first at bat, wasn't it?
It was good. That was awesome.
We'll give William a minute to reset his clock. Our next batter up is going to be Distech Controls. And he has come prepared to play.
How's everybody doing in Detroit? So welcome. I'm Tony Icenhour, president of Distech Controls. I'll just play second base, I'm sorry. I'm director of sales for Distech Controls. I live in North Carolina. I've been at Distech for about 11 years and in this industry for 37 years. So excited to be here, excited to be working with you guys, and looking forward to this showdown.
Tony, are you ready to play ball?
Hang on, no.
No. What are you doing, Tony?
Now I'm ready to play ball.
Oh, we're going to have to call a foul ball already on Tony.
Nothing yet.
What are you going to do?
Nothing. As far as you know.
All right, you ready? Play ball.
So guys, today we are going to talk about the Distech Eclipse controller called the Apex controller. So we're going to use a lot of baseball analogies today. So how many people here are Detroit Tigers fans? Right? Detroit Tigers? If you think about a franchise player, you think about one of the greatest players there. Who's one of those guys you think about? Brera. I don't know who that went to. There you go. Come on, Ty Cobb? Somebody, Ty Cobb. All right. So, hey, the Apex controller is our franchise player, right? This is the controller that we count on to do from the smallest project up to the largest, right? It's an HVAC controller. It's a controller designed for the IoT world. It's a controller that's got artificial intelligence built into it, right? So this is our franchise player. So let's look under the hood. Under the hood, this thing is a beast. Talk about fast. This is like PLC fast. It's got a quad-core processor, right? It's got 3 USB ports. It's got 2 gigabit Ethernet ports. It's got security built in, 32 gig of memory. It's got an AI chip built onto it, right? This is a controller that we came out with a couple of years ago that we keep expanding on. We build this controller for the future. We put things in it that are going to take us into today and into tomorrow, right? So let's look at the design, right? It's modular. The main controller, the server, it's got a built-in graphics designer. It's got a tool built into it that you can create your own graphics. Then you can serve those graphics up in a web server, right? Think about that. Then it's a BTL backnet building controller. GFX programming tool, the same tool that programs our line controllers, our MSTP controllers, also programs this IP controller. It's modular. So you want to scale down to a small building, you want to go up to a large building, right? It handles up to 320 points and 20 modules. I/O modules, communication modules. This controller is built to handle any situation for you. So how many people have been sitting at a baseball game with your wife, with your kid, with somebody, and they've never seen a game before? And you have to explain to them what baseball's about, right? You got to bridge that gap. We got the OT world, we got the IT world, right? How do you bridge that gap? The Apex controller can help you do that. We got a lot of protocols. Some of you guys recognize this. We've talked about some of these others over here. MQTT, Node-RED, Docker, RESTful API. What do those things mean? Right? To the OT world, it's been something of an anomaly for a while. But let's talk about it right now. RESTful API, application programming interface. We've talked about that a lot today. It's a way for different computer programs to talk to each other. Right? It's a set of rules that lets one program ask another program for information to do something. Let's take that to a baseball example. Let's say you're a pitcher, right? For Detroit. You're pitching against Babe Ruth, all right? Oh, you're scared. This guy hits home runs. What do you need to do? You call the coach, you say, hey, I need some information. How do I strike Babe out, right? So you go to the player's the client, the coach is the API. He says, hey, I need some information. The coach has to gather that information. He might have it here, might have a statistician, might have some way to get the information. Comes back to you and says, hey, Babe can't hit low and outside, right? So you just use a baseball analogy to show you ask information, you give it. You gotta know the right questions to ask and the right people to ask. We use these APIs every day, right? We've got weather, we've got shopping, we've got traffic, we got everybody's favorite DraftKings, right? You get a bet on the Tigers, right? All of these things use RESTful APIs to do their work. You don't know it, but you're using this every day. So what's a Docker container? Who can tell me? I got another one, if I get the right answer. What's Dockers? Anybody? Shoes, close enough. Pants, they got shoes too, right? That is not what we're talking about, right? Containers are packaged software that contain all the necessary elements to run in any environment. A Docker is just a containerization platform. Let's go to baseball. All right, I brought it with me. All right, if you're a baseball player, you got to play at different places. You want to be able to play your best everywhere you go. You got to have all the right equipment, right? I bring my equipment with me. In the IT world, a Docker container is just like that, right? It includes everything the application needs to run, the code, the libraries, the dependencies, the configuration files. So this Docker container can run consistently anywhere it is, just like I can go to any stadium in the world and play because I am a professional baseball player. Who laughed? Real world examples. Spotify, Netflix. How do those work? If you're on your phone, you're on your tablet, you're on your PC, you're on your TV, they're all running the same. Your experience is the same, right? Containerized so that you get the same experience everywhere you are. Node-RED, a powerful visual programming tool, right? It's a Docker containerized program that's out there that's free that allows you to visually, graphically block programming just like we're used to, to create an interface into the IoT world. Another example, so if you look back at these integrations that we're talking about, these are all things that in the world today, we've been utilizing integrations, but now in the BAS world, but now we've got industry standards, protocols that are in the IT world. How do we take advantage of those? MQTT, we've talked about that. It's a messaging service, right? We use that today all the time. So you could take a Shelly plug, right? And you could write an application where a baseball service could subscribe to, could publish the baseball scores. The Shelly plug could subscribe to it and it receives that message. And then you can do an action on that. Maybe it's flash a light to tell you a run scored. Real world, healthcare, monitor patients. Smart home, you pull up to your house and your lights come on, your thermostat goes down. You're in traffic, it reroutes you because of the different data that it's getting in. These are all real world examples of where we're using that today. So as we go through the end of this, I want to tell you that the Eclipse controller is a controller that takes you not only into your current situation, but takes you into the future. It's powerful, it's open. We heard some people talk about free. This thing, all of our resources that we have for this are free. There's no recurring fees, right? It's a powerful HVAC controller, right? It connects you to the IoT hub that connects you to IoT devices, right? With industry standards that we're utilizing not only in the HVAC world, but in the IT world. It's a digital service enabler. We're utilizing things that other people have developed to help make our job easier. So the Apex controller is the controller that you can bet your team on. It's the franchise player that's going to take you from today to tomorrow and into the future. Thank you.
Thank you. That was another good at-bat, wasn't it, William?
Yeah, that was a great one.
That was a good one. All right. Are we ready for batter number 3? Batter number 3, batter up, iSMA Controls.
I could eat.
A little bit about yourself first, Steve.
Yep, I'm prepared. Batter up, Steve Fay. Age before beauty. So needless to say, I've been in the industry a little while, and a lot of you probably know me from my Tritium days. I was there from 2004 to 2012, and I've had the pleasure of reacquainting myself with a number of you since then. When I moved to Virginia, ultimately I ended up working for Tritium, and I've remained in Virginia with my family, and now I'm reached grandfather status, and I spend time with my grandchildren, so it's all good. So,
You ready to start?
I am ready to
All right. Play ball.
Okay. So today, we're going to talk about, before I talk about the controller, I'm going to talk about, who the heck is it? What happened to, okay, who the heck is iSMA Controlli? So, first off, it's pronounced iSMA. Okay. So, we are a European company. We're a combination of the building automation business out of Gdansk, Poland, and the valve and actuator business out of Genoa, Italy. And the Controlli business has been around a long time. The iSMA business, less so, it's about 15 or so years. And I'm focusing today on, obviously, the building automation piece. If you haven't been to Poland or to Gdansk, it's a lovely city on the Baltic Sea. And we engineer and manufacture all the products, including the one I'm going to talk about here today, in Gdansk, Poland. And yeah, I'm swinging for the fences. It's time to go for the grand slam. So the product that we're going to be talking about is the Mac 36 controller that I'm holding here. And if you notice, it's the size of a Jace. And the pitch here is it's a fully scalable Niagara-based controller that takes you from the smallest to the largest of buildings. And it is now also capable of being a very cost-effective solution for equipment control on things like chillers, boilers, air handlers, and of course very small buildings, as you'll learn here in a second. So, being the pitcher, holding on the pitcher's mound, let's talk about we have 3 models of the Mac 36. We've got the original one, the Mac 36 NL, And then we have the Mac 36 Pro, which we came out with a year ago. It's much more high powered. And we've got today with this announcement, the Edge version of the Mac 36. So we're very excited about that, and it'll make a lot more sense here in a second. So we are Niagara framework based. The full stack of Niagara runs in this controller. We started out a long time ago on 4.4. We're now, of course, shipping 4.14. And all the drivers that you can get for Tritium are available in the Mac 36. The product comes with libraries that we've developed for talking to our I/O, for giving you graphic libraries. And whenever I talk about Tritium, or talk about software from iSMA, it's all free, all available right off our website. And we're also workbench agnostic. We do have our own workbench, but just so you know, all of our libraries will work in whatever version of Niagara you're using today for workbench. So moving on across the infield here, we do hit for power. So this product, the base NL controller has a gig of RAM and 4 gigs of flash, and the Pro has double that. We went with a Linux operating system. A number of products today have talked about going for the 64-bit, which is what we've done. And what's a neat feature of the product is the SD card that backs up your memory also contains the license. So should the hardware fail, of course it never happens, but you can pull out the SD card, replace the hardware, plug the SD card back in, and you're up and running. No reload required. So 36 points of I/O come with the controller at the size of a Jace. Think about that. So you get 16 universal inputs, you get some digital inputs with pulse capability, you get your analog outputs and your relay outputs, all in the base controller. Now, moving back to the pitcher's mound for a minute. We don't hide our signals. They're right there on the front panel. So you can look at all the status of your inputs and your outputs and your communication, all available to you. But there are a few things hidden under the cover. We have some dip switches and a couple rotary switches, and you can use those to characterize the controller before you install it. So I can put multiple programs in the single Mac 36, and then the tech out in the field can take the cover off, select the dip switch he wants, and it runs a different program. Or he can use it to select different operating parameters. So real nice feature, comes along for the ride, doesn't cost you anything extra, and it doesn't add points to your Tritium. Expansion. The Mac 36 Pro, we test it for up to 10,000 points. It's a powerful controller. But in terms of I/O, we have a whole family of I/O modules, 22 different varieties. They all plug in either over RS-485 or over IP. So you have a great way to quickly raise the point count of your controller. And now that we're back to home plate, one of the key neat features of the Mac, it has an HDMI port on it. So you can connect a display directly into the Mac 36, take your PX pages, and there you go. And so you got the whole picture out of a single controller of the I/O, the functionality of Niagara, and the ability to display what's going on locally right from the display. The pitch here is that we're scalable. And that is really the case. So if you look at the licensing for this product, it starts as low as 3 devices and 50 points, all the way up to 100 devices and 5,000 points on your core license, and then you can just add from there. But one of the exciting things is I'm announcing today that Tritium has approved us to now turn the Mac 36 into an edge device, which means I can have edge device licenses, which is with 5 devices, either 100 or 150 points, and no SMA, which we think is very exciting because now you've got a controller that could go on a standalone piece of equipment, like a chiller or boiler, or it can go in a small building and the whole SMA problem goes away. Our software tools and libraries are all available, like I said, off the web, whether we have packs that you can load into your existing browsers, or you can buy, you can rather download our workbench, and it all comes preloaded. So whether it's graphics, 2D or 3D, again, all of the software is available for you. So in simple terms, we think we got the best controller on the market. And just to prove the point, I'll finish up with a little excitement from
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone.
in case you were wondering. Thank you.
Great. That was another good at-net, William, wasn't it?
I think you missed a foul ball on that one.
Well, that end, it was close. I almost had to call a foul on that. It just depended on where that video is going to go after that. All right, next up, bat. And batting fourth, we have Phoenix Contact.
So hi, I'm Deepan Patel from Phoenix Contact. I live in North London in the UK, so it's great to come here. I was actually born in Richmond, Virginia, so I'm also a US citizen as well as UK, so I can freely come and go across the pond. I have two daughters. I've been in this industry for about 15, close to 20 years now. I actually worked for Siemens for about 4 years in a lot of their PLC automation, and I've been with Phoenix Contact now close to 10 years as well. So, off we go. Phoenix Contact.
Foul ball. Supposed to wait for me to call again.
Sure.
Ready?
Yeah.
Play ball.
Yes. So, who are Phoenix Contact? Just a bit about us. We are one of the world's market leaders in industrial connection and technology and automation. So, Phoenix Contact is a privately held business. We have offices located all over the globe. We have been since 1923. That puts us as an organization as vertically integrated, but also financially independent as well. Inside Phoenix Contact, we have core business functions. So we do things and manufacture our own device connectors in the marketplace. We do things that go into your control panels, so electrical control panels, things like power supplies, Ethernet switches, HMIs, so on and so forth. Any type of electrical component that goes into an electrical control cabinet or a BMS cabinet, we will offer the solution for that. The third division is the industrial management and automation. So that's everything from PLC controllers, if that's what you're looking for, as well as the BMS controller as well, which I'm going to go through as well. And we take things a little bit more and also invest in e-mobility as well. So things like innovation, acquiring other businesses throughout the globe. So the ILC 2250BI controller, and I will show it up. You can just see how compact this controller is. It is a Niagara 4 framework, so everything like what we've got our peers down below me here, this stands a lot taller and a lot smaller and compact. So it's a Niagara 4 on 4.14. It's the controller, that's a great marriage. What are the benefits for it for your projects? Well, let me go through them. Some of the key advantages. So it's modular. Now these are the I/O modules that connect directly onto the ILC controller. And I know you can't see it as much, but it's really small. The idea is 63 I/O modules can be connected on one single controller. So what does that mean for your projects? Well, let's take that a bit more. You can connect around about 2,000 data points on one single controller. It is a very versatile modular controller. I'll take you a bit further into it. It's unique. It's the only kind of BMS controller that I have seen that starts off with an 80mm footprint in your control cabinet. And control cabinets are fighting for space. All of the presentations that I've seen today is talking about retrofit applications. What are we doing with the old buildings? We're trying to fight for that cabinet space or put a new cabinet. This controller can fit in nice and neat, tight little spots, so it's really ideal for that. Flexibility, things like M-Bus for your metering, Dali for lighting, BACnet, all of the BACnet IP, MSTP, Modbus, so on and so forth. It has it all inbuilt inside the controller. There's no gateway needed. It does it natively using our modules. We as Phoenix Contact are an industrial manufacturer, so what we've effectively done is taken a very high industrial grade product and brought this over to the BMS market. So what does that mean for your projects and your applications? Robust, high I/O resolution points and channels compared to other commercial grade products. So just a bit more, modular and unique. Let's put a real world application in for you in front of your eyes. So what we have is around 100 digital inputs, 70 digital outputs, with only a panel width for compact, 348 millimeters. Very, very compact indeed. It's almost the size of a standard ruler length. Each channel indication is lit, so you can see that on front the digital modules all have its individual LEDs. So from an engineer's point, it's nice that you can see whether if the input is actually in or off. You don't need no HMI, you don't need no screen, you don't need workbench. You can just see it on the controller itself. True integration, what do we mean by that? True scalability. Dali and Dali 2, for example, we do native modules that connect directly onto the bus itself. So you don't need to have any gateway, no IP gateway or nothing else to try and convert that protocol into another controller. It's native inside our ILC 2050 controller. So it's a single vendor as well, so it's not having to use a different type of vendor or any kind of other vendor. It is still Phoenix Contact. It's more robust in your application and design. It means that there's no multiple points of failure in your design either. As I said earlier, it's an industrial grade hardware, so it's also very unique. So what we've done in the industrialized world, factory automation and so on, is we've developed a design that fits in the industrial type of grade hardware, but brought that over to the BMS market as well. Let's talk a bit about more the controller. So there is 4 Ethernet ports. As you can see, there is 2 NICs, 2 network interface cards in that port. So you can configure each individual 4 ports. So you can have a standard Ethernet switch, 1 to 3 or 2 by 2 configuration. RSTP is also built in this controller. True rapid spanning tree protocol, that media redundancy that you need for your project. 2 RS5 ports built in the controller. It's a quad-core processor, very powerful for its demanding application needs. All of the IEC 6100s, UL approvals is all inbuilt in there as well. All of the BACnet testing laboratories are approved on there as well. It's also backwards compatible, so any of our customers that have used the 2050 controller, guess what? If you want the new quad-core CPU controller, you just replace that existing controller and put the ILC 2250 controller in its place. It will still mean that the I/O modules that you use will still work with the new controller. No necessary to change your I/O modules. We've talked a lot about cybersecurity today, so we have this controller that meets the European Cyber Resilience Act. So we are future-proofing our design so that it is ready for the next generations to come in cybersecurity as well. Long-term availability, what we're talking about here is the ILC 2050 controller and the ILC 2250 controller is still going to be long-term supported, at least until 2035, especially with the 2050. So in comparison to the Jace controller. The I/O modules is all inbuilt. So you can see it's a huge amount of I/O modules. Analog, outputs, inputs, digitals, relays, you name it. So you've got a whole range of inputs, outputs. You need to only pay for what you are going to use. And as you can see, you can build. You can start off with this, build your project as and when the customer requirements grow within the building and the requirements of that. 63, I don't know how many times I've mentioned that, 63 I/O modules on one single controller. Very, very scalable flexibility indeed. Okay, so there's diagnostic ports, so it allows you to expand on the web and the controller as well. Just there. So yeah, as a bit of a summary, we do 60,000 products as part of our wider portfolio. And the ILC 2050 and the 2250 is actually coming out in beginning of June as well. The 2250 is out in June, and the 2050 is available today. So let's take things together. Let's vote for Phoenix Contact. Thank you.
Well, William, we had a pretty clean game until Phoenix tried to steal first base, which I don't even know if that's possible, but they tried. Up next, how do you know? Oh, okay, there we go. Up next, Lynxspring.
You're not going to call like Angel Hernandez, right?
No.
See, what we should have had is a home plate here, so if we disagree, we can just start kicking the...
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
We need to clean it off for you a little bit there. Hey, wait a minute, just a minute. You ready? Is that good?
A little more.
A little more? Okay.
Okay, you missed a spot right
This
there.
one right here?
Yep.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. Let's hear a little bit about yourself, then we'll play ball.
All right, so my name is Charles Johnson. I'm the lead trainer and technical engineer at Lynxspring. I actually started in the control business at the age of 10. My dad decided that, I was too rambunctious to run around on my own, so he thought controls would calm me down. Not really. Most of you may know I am a psychopath when it comes to controls. I love everything about it. And fun fact, I'm 100% colorblind, which actually may come into play here because I have no idea what colors I chose. I attempted to let AI choose a color scheme for me. So Emily, you can yell at me later on how garbage that this thing is. So,
Ready?
right there. This one right here?
Yep, ready? Play ball.
All right. So, hold on a second. Oh, okay, never mind. My bad. So we're going to talk about the Genesis Edge 634. And for those of you who do not know what the Genesis Edge product line is an end-to-end Niagara solution that we have in a variety of flavors. But today we're going to be talking about the Genesis Edge 634. Oh, there was supposed to be sound for that. Oh, wah wah. Okay, never mind. Oh well. Okay, so the Genesis Edge 634 runs on Helix, which is actually a type of Linux that we have, and it runs on Niagara 4. In addition, we now have a new dual-core processor, a 1.7 gigahertz IMX93 that we have. It actually runs cooler than a quad-core processor, which is why we actually chose it. It has 2 gigabytes of memory, DDR4, as well as 32 gigabyte an 8-bit embedded onboard flash as well. It has 10 digital outputs off the gate. It has 8 analog outputs and 16 universal inputs. And fun fact for you, this one's a halfway device. I know that some of you have complaints about the Edge 534 being a full wave device, and as some of you know, smoke is bad for humans but good for controllers. If we let the smoke out of the controllers, they stop working. Now you don't have to worry about that being a half-wave device. In addition, the Genesis Edge 634 is really what I like to call the next leap in innovation. It is designed for intelligent buildings, and it is completely scalable, and we are going to be releasing it this summer. I didn't know it was supposed to be just current controllers, but we're going to...
We'll let you go.
Sweet. Cool. All right, so why are we doing the Edge 634? Well, due to the growing command to be smarter and faster controllers, we feel that we needed to put our hat in the game. And also with increased demand for AI, we are now fully AI capable. And if you need reliable integration, we have the Niagara platform for your service. In addition, as I said, not only is it powered by the Niagara platform, we do run on Linux, and it is built for the next generation building, and it's fully scalable. We can do 306 I/O points on our single controller. We we have multi-protocol solutions, so LAN, BACnet, Modbus, MQTT, QNX, doesn't matter. We can talk to it, and it can fit on any DIN rail that you build. In addition, with the LSM2, that is actually what it's called, the Lynxspring Spark module, it has enhanced processing for more power and memory. It has greater storage and capacity, which means that we do have that it is more efficient operable. However, when we talk about faster boot times though, if you look at this here, this controller that I built has has 306 I/O built onto it. It has reflow built onto it, and I put in 36 program objects that all they do is just continue to add kick control continuously, and it boots up in under 2 minutes. I couldn't get the CPU usage above 15% no matter what I did. In addition, we are AI and E2E ready, edge to edge. That is our cloud system here. We support end-to-end flow architectures as well as built-in support for modern automation strategies. Oh, did I click? Okay. We have a dual RS-45 port, so if you want BACnet or Modbus or both, you can have either way. We can also do Ethernet or USB connectivity, so if you forget your Ethernet cable, like I did this week, you can actually connect with a USB cable and it'll spit out an IP address for you. In addition, we also again support a wide range of controls, of control protocols such as BACnet, LAN, and MQTT. We do offer faster deployment with our edge-centric applications. We reduce the network and cloud dependencies there, and real-time control with lower latency. We have a hardened Linux OS. Again, that's the Helix OS that we use. We offer secure boot and firmware integrity, and we can do enterprise-grade cybersecurity practices. We do keep up with the latest and greatest that we can. But it is great for smart building applications. It's great for equipment level controller. It's great for edge AI deployments and remote site with architecture. I think that's, what, we have 3 minutes left? Okay, that was not what I expected. Much like yesterday, but that's okay. I'm really impressed with this controller, and if anyone knows me, I'm always honest, regardless. I don't shoot anything else, and I really do think that the Edge 634 is one of the better controllers that we've had. I know that we've had our things with the Lynxspring, but the 634 is really our next generation controller. That's really all I have.
Sweet.
Okay. Where's the alcohol when you need it?
Well, he rounded those plates pretty fast, didn't he, William?
That was terrible.
Got home pretty quick on that one.
Yeah, I don't really run that fast.
Up next, bat and cleanup, is a lefty. Not by choice, but we just had him batting last. Honeywell.
So that pushes me forward?
Yep.
All right. Wow. Main stage of Controls Con. Welcome. Man, I made it. So my name is Paul Farris. I'm with Honeywell. I come from Dayton, Ohio. Please don't hold that against me. I know where I'm at. I know I'm up north. But I know there's also a lot of Daytonians in the crowd too, so I like to give a shout out to all of my Dayton people here today that made the drive. I appreciate seeing you all up here. I started in this industry in 2000 as a mechanical service tech, and I, for some reason, went into my boss's office and said, I'm going to do controls. And 20 years later, I'm still doing controls, and I love it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Are you ready?
I mean, I think I'm ready.
All right, play ball.
All right, we're going to talk about the Optimizer suite. Oh, I got to hit it twice, maybe. Am I hitting the wrong button? Oh yeah, there we go. We'll play to the home crowd here, the Tiger Stadium right down the street here. So we're going to talk about the Optimizer suite of controllers. I'm going to focus on one controller, but the nice thing is with this, everything that we talk about is going to be universal to all our terminal controllers. So when you think about controllers, you want something fast, you want something versatile, you want something reliable. And that's what we've packaged in these controllers. So we're going to go through and we're going to explain how that actually works. So to start off with, versatile I/O to meet your needs. No more AI, AO, DI, DO. We have universal inputs to make sure you can use this controller to control whatever you need. It comes in 2 footprints, a small with 16 points of 8 universal in and 8 relays, 4 of them solid states, 4 of them actually relays. And the large comes with 24 total points, so you get 8 more extra inputs. All the Optimizer controllers have a Modbus slave network that you can bring Modbus devices into to add some versatility to that I/O platform. It's not on this slide, but there's also the Silk bus that we're going to talk about later. But I mean, right there, that's a pretty versatile controller with inputs. I know I keep looking at that clock. I should probably stop and just go. As I was talking about, this IO has 65,000 steps that it can measure. So whatever you're trying to control, whatever you're trying to measure, you can get that finite control no matter how minuscule it might seem or how deep dive you got to get into what you're controlling. Multiple sensor types that it accepts. All of this is from a drop-down menu in the programming tool. No more setting up charts and trying to input things. Select it, drop it down, it goes, takes off. The really cool thing, when you do a 4 to 20 input on this controller, when you select it, it automatically applies a 500 ohm resistor to set it to 2 to 10. No more resistor hanging off the side, falling out, nobody knows what it was. No getting the right one, no getting the wrong one, it's just there. And then a huge list of other inputs. Outputs just as versatile with the 65,000 steps on the analog out, so you can really dial in what you're controlling. Solid state relays with a 1.5 amp and a 3.5 amp inrush with a factory jumper for our contact side of the relay. So if you have multiple power sources, you pull it. If you have one power source, plug in the bar, boom, ready to go. Speeds up, gets you off the job faster, no jumpers, no extra wiring. Communication, now we all talk about BACnet, right? We all know BACnet, we all love BACnet. We've been doing it for years. MSTP, it's slow. I'm gonna skip the next one and come back to it, but BACnet IP, everybody up here just talked about an IP controller, right? The world is moving to IP. Everybody wants it, everybody needs it. How do we get more information out of this building faster? So now I'm gonna blow your mind. 10 base T1L, this is a game changer. This is IP communication on a twisted pair. I'm gonna say that again. BACnet IP communication on a twisted pair. So any building you come into, you can reuse the existing wire and bring it to IP standards. No switches, no limitations of 300 feet. You're not having to run back to a switch. You're not adding infrastructure just to get that speed. You're getting 10 meg speed on a twisted pair. I talked about the Silk Bus network. My God, I feel like I've been up here 3 seconds.
Man, you've got plenty of time.
I talked about the Silk Bus network. Another input saving feature of this controller. You can bring in sensors, you can bring in actuators right into the Silk Bus, not using that I/O, leaving that I/O for other options. A vast variety of wall modules you can bring in and sensors you can bring into it. The actuators, you can do 27 pounds all the way up to 175 pounds. The greatest part of that actuator is it's got a little chip in there that's counting everything that's going on and building this data and letting it know how many times it's positioned, how many times it's stroked, everything that it's done. And as that actuator wears, because they all wear out eventually, you can tell what the expected life was versus what it actually has done. And with a little bit of tagging and a dashboard added in a jar file to your supervisor, you can pull all that up to a supervisor. So if you have however many thousands of actuators in your portfolio, all you need is Silk. The really cool part of that, every Jade economizer installed on rooftop units worldwide already has that technology built into it, so you can pull it right out, right into your building automation. No more guessing what the economizer's doing, you know. All right, so the engineering tool, it's all Workbench embedded. Jar files into the Workbench. You can program it from Advanced Plant, you can program it from a HAN 9000, you can program it from a Web 8000. And I know you're saying, but Paul, I don't do Honeywell. What if I have a Vicon Jace? We have a driver that you install, you dump the jar files in, bada boom, bada bing, you're programming right from that programming tool. Freely programmable, helps that versatility. Wow, man. Wire sheet programming, what we're used to, drag it out, connect all the dots, all the great things you need. The really cool thing is you build that template, you can set one device as your master and you can set the rest to be cloned. So if you're doing a building and you're like, crap, every damper is going backwards, change it in the master, push it down. and it takes off and goes. We also have a BMS startup app that connects to the controller via Bluetooth and lets you go through, oh my God, I didn't even hit the button that time. Well, it doesn't matter. So you connect to it, oh my goodness gracious. Oh, that's the back button. That's what I'm doing wrong. All right, well, anyways, so the BMS startup tool lets you connect to it. You build your project, you can send it down to a tablet or a phone, and you can let it, you don't need to have a BMS engineer on the website. Whoever did that, thank you, I appreciate it. Is that Alicia? I appreciate you. You don't have to have a BMS tech on the site. So what that does is it saves time, gets you off the site. I guarantee there's at least a dozen people sitting right here in this front row that have a subcontractor install something for them. Well, now you got to get them a laptop. Now you got to teach them how to log in. Now you got to teach them, man, they got their smartphone, send the project to it, they connect to the Bluetooth device, they can go do a IO checkout, and bada boom, bada bing, they can send you a report showing that they actually tested all the IO. So get you off the job faster, make commissioning easier, and man, I even got time. So now, I'm gonna take my 10 seconds to talk. Pete Rose. Greatest baseball player of all time. We're gonna have a baseball themed event. I'm gonna put Pete up on the time's up. So, thank you. My name is Paul Farris. I appreciate your time. I hope you're
That was a good game, William, don't you think?
I think it was awesome.
We did. Had a good time. Uh-oh, here comes what everybody is really playing for. The Controlli.
Sir?
Take a look at it. Get pictures of it later. Whoever the winner is, I'm sure they'll drink beer out of it for sure. Or vodka. Or vodka. All right, again, so how you audience gets to vote. So in a minute, am I pushing this to get the QR code up? There's the QR code. Everybody has time to scan that QR code. Oh, I see all the phones going up. Vote for whoever your favorite presenter and controller is.